This neighborhood's gone to the dogs in a handbasket, I'll tell you that.
All right, good evening, folks. It is I, Chief Sarcan, of Ask the Chief Streaming, and I am part of the MMORPG.com stream team, and I'm here with another episode of WildStar. I have been slowly covering all the classes throughout my streams, so if you've missed one of the previous classes, go ahead and check out my YouTube for that. Today I'm going to go over the Stalker and take you on a tour through Deradune. I am a level 11 Stalker, so I am up there a little bit already, but that's okay. We're still going to have fun doing this. So to get started, I'm going to go over the basics of how the Stalker works, stat priorities, abilities, that type of thing up to my current level, and just kind of give you a philosophy how the game plays. I have been beta testing for a very, very long time, so feel free to shoot me any questions you have. I will answer them to the best of my abilities. I don't know everything. However, I have been around the block for a while. So I can answer any questions up through level 15 content. Please be aware that if you are here about beta keys, I don't have any. I can't give them to you. Head over and register for beta is the only way you're going to get one. If you try and sell, trade, or any of that stuff about a beta key, I will ban you during the show. So please do not do that. Let's have this a nice, friendly, fun, informative show for you today. So here we are. I'm on my Stalker. We'll zoom in here. I am on my famous favorite class or race, the Draken. We're going to open up our panel. We're going to look at our stats. And the stat priority works is you have 3 stats that are focused on your DPS. Every class has a DPS. And then you've got 3 stats that are focused on your secondary ability. Depending upon your class, will be either a tank, healer. So with that, the Stalker is a tank or he's DPS. And we have 2 innate abilities that helps decide which way you want to go. So we have, come on, tooltip, stay up. We have our suit modes for Stalkers. And the suit mode that you have selected will help also define how you play the class. So my suit mode right now is I'm in lethal. I am going DPS. However, end game I plan to be a tank, but that's okay. You can switch out your abilities. You can switch out your stats at any time based on your gear. You get automatic stats every level, but you can tweak it out with your gear, opening up milestones, and the amp system. So here again, getting back, I'm sidetracking. Suit mode, lethal, passive. Don't do nothing. It's going to increase my assault power, which increases my damage and my crit and all of that. It also has a stealth effect that gives me a 100% chance if I'm in stealth passively to increase my crit hit. However, I can activate it. This means I go into stealth mode. I'm ready to do some serious damage. And what it does is it increases my movement speed by 20% while it's stealth. And so when I'm stealth, I can move a lot faster. Now, if I switch over to my suit mode evasive, this is the tanking innate. And this is the one you're going to want when you're trying to keep your group alive, trying to make sure the aggro is coming towards you. It's going to increase your deflect chance, which means you're not taking as many hits, but it also increases your threat generation. So every time you hit something, they're more likely to turn and come towards you, and threat generation in WildStar is very effective. If you're good at managing threat, you can keep pretty much everybody focused on you, which is really good. And as you can see there, while in stealth, it increases your deflect chance while you do it. The downside is, while you're in stealth, in defense mode, it reduces your speed. So there's your trade-off. Every innate ability has a positive and a potential negative to it. And that's just good balancing to the game aspect of it. So anyway, but you can also choose, which is very unique to the Stalker, is you have a suit mode standard. say you don't want to be penalized for using stealth. Say you don't want to boost up your defense, you don't want to boost up your offense, you just want stealth to be stealth. Well, they did that for you. Very few games do this. I really like the fact that they just gave you stealth. If you just want to stealth it, here you go. You got a suit mode standard that you can pop up. You're not worried about pulling extra aggro because you're doing extra damage. You just stealth it up, which is really cool. So, those are your 3 suit modes you can choose from. Looking at our stats again, brutality is the primary stat for assault power. That's your DPS primary stat is brutality. Your next stat is finesse, and the reason why it's your next stat, one, it's the next highest default automatically spent points you get, but it also increases your strike through, which is your ability to go through their shields, and your crit severity, so when you do hit them, do you trigger a crit. Your third stat for DPS is your moxie, and your moxie increases once again your crit chance and your crit severity. Notice the strike through is more important than the crit chance and crit severity in stat wise when building DPS. It's just you want to get through because you're going to do less damage if you don't get through, so that's why it's considered the secondary priority, and so on, and then down to your moxie. And then the same thing here, you can see that your tech is your primary tanking ability, and that's going to boost your support power abilities, and we'll get to abilities in just a second. But you want to boost up your support power so your tanking abilities really get a boost to their capability. Then you have grit. Now grit is the same for every class, but whether it's a priority in your stat system is dependent upon the class and how you want to play it. Default-wise, you get more points into grit than you do insight. Plus, as a tank, you're going to want more health. It's just makes sense. And then insight, as you can see here, insight increases your deflect crit hit. That means if they crit on you, you have a chance to deflect a portion of it, which is really cool. And then your deflection rating. And these are reflected in all these secondary stats that affect your character. And I'm not going to go through every one of them, or else we'd be here for a half an hour. We want to actually get to some gameplay, but I just want you to understand the basics of how the Stalker works. And so there you go. That's your primary secondaries. As you can see here, you have a number of slots. You have your weapon and your shield. Your shield reflects your blue bar. Yes, you can take damage without losing your shield. That's how the strike through works. Or fall damage. Also, you can take damage, and then you can do that. So, then you got a head slot, shoulders. Shoulders opens up at level 14. I want to say your head slot opens up at 12, but don't quote me on that. Then your chest, your gloves, your pants, and your boots. Then you have all these what's considered like jewelry. Your augments, your weapon attachment. You got a support system slot, a gadget slot, an augment slot, and then an implant. And these are things that you can unlock as you level, and then you have to find them in the world. Or they get crafted depending on how far up. We won't get in those details because that takes us past level 15. Anyway, so with that, let me turn this add-on off. All right. So grit is your health. Okay. So the question is about hotbars. I can click this, and you can have up to 3 hotbars currently. And this is where I put my auxiliary stuff that's not an ability. This is how I summon my mount. This is where I put my mining pick. These are where I put my healing stuff and food buffs, stuff like that. And I normally don't show it because I know what's there. Anyway, so with that, let's take a look here. Right now we are in Deradune. As you can see here, I've already been through quite a bit of Deradune, but that's okay. We're just going to fly around, take a tour, do some quests, and kind of show off the area, everything that's going on. So this is where you start out, Bloodfire Village. Little basics about the map. Anything in yellow is for a quest, And if you highlight the quest, it kind of gives you an idea, hey, I got to go over here for this quest. If it's highlighted in orange, it's your path ability. This is something you need to do for your path. You want to go here for your path and level up your pathing. For my personal character this time, I'm a scientist. The scientist is all about the lore, about figuring out things, getting buffs from everything in the world. One thing, if you haven't seen it, that's really cool about the map in WildStar is it gives you a summary of everything you need to do in this area. If you want to be a completionist, you need to do all of this stuff before you leave or come back and do it later. Sorry. So as you can see here, there's 26 challenges in this zone. Zone exploration is a separate thing, but have you visited everywhere on the map? Tasks, have you done them all? That type of thing. There's achievements that's associated with some of these things. Also, if you just want to make sure you've affected and touched every piece of the zone, the story, the lore, the everything, this kind of helps you get you driven home on that. So as I said, we start in Bloodfire Village. This is where you come in after, if you were watching Kelothar's show, he was in the start area. This is where you come right after that. Anyway, so the way the mapping system works is you can highlight, you can go, oh, I have this task, I have this event, I have these quests. You can click on them. Oops, not the crafting one. We'll get to that in a minute. I can click on it, and it points an arrow and says, hey, go that direction. Somewhere over there is your quest. So, with that, we can go look around. We'll kind of look here. This is your taxi system here. If you see one of these, it'll let you click on it and fly somewhere if you found the corresponding taxi. Of course, taxis cost money. But, in fact, let's do that. Let's fly up here to where I need to do my questing.
Filling me with dread, really. Seriously, I mean, how much can you possibly say to a friggin' stagecoach that hasn't been said?
While we're riding the taxi, I'll see if I can answer some questions. Yeah, I don't PvP that often. I will do it on occasion, but to me, PvP is a boring show. Unless you really want to learn something about that, my shows are all about you ask me questions because I want to help you learn. That's what Ask the Chief is about. You ask, I tell you. That's what I try and do. Club. Let's see here. Map completions, I already covered that. You're going to get an achievement. There's experience involved. If you're an explorer, there's really some extra stuff you get from map completion. So now that we've landed here, one thing to note, see these things sticking up in the air? This means someone is a settler. And that means there's something going on here that a settler has done that you can benefit from. So if you come over here, you can click on their station, as you can see it right there, and get a buff. This one happens to be run speed. So we can come over here and say, thank you, Mr. Settler. I'm going to take your run speed buff. And for 20 minutes, we now have a buff. I'm a scientist, so I need to summon my bot. And we can cover the pathing system real quick. We go under here. Pathing system is going to tell you different things you have to do in the zone. Also, the available quests, the quests left to complete, and also the rewards you're going to get for unlocking the next rank. As you can see here, I've already earned rank 5 of the path system, which earned me a fab kit and an ability, which you can see here. So on and so forth. This is a trade skill area. So if you were to come learn about trade skills, this is going to give you trade skill quests. We can click on that. Fashion weapons for the Draken. Okay. So now I got another crafting quest. We're going to minimize those because I'm not worried about them right now. But if you were to click on here, this is how you craft. So this is for coordinated crafting, which means coordinates, just like it looks like. This looks like a coordinate, and I have to hit a mark out here. You can see I've already discovered the sweet jerky, but I still haven't discovered the spicy jerky. And the way you move around this is you have these additives that you do not have in your inventory system. They're just part of the crafting table. They can cost money, but currently I don't believe they cost hardly anything. But you can move around the board by selecting them. As you can see, you can only select up to 3 things. I've already used 2, so my last one is going to tell me where am I trying to go. Right now I'm sitting right there. I could just craft it. Let's see if I discover the recipe. I look at my thing. I can look at my crafting recipes now for cooking, and it says I still haven't discovered the sweet jerky. So let's try again. So we're going to start over, and you can adjust and say I only want to see stuff that makes me move this direction, or I only want to see stuff that makes me go that direction. So it minimizes what you got here. Let's see here. Let's go with this one. So we'll go with that one. And we'll do it again. Now let's see here. Let's see if we can see what makes us go up. And let's go right there. Now you can see I didn't actually land exactly where I was. It was basically in that area. Now the question is, did I land inside where the recipe's at? So let's craft it. I did not. I did not make it to where we want to go. So let's try again. I still have some meat. So let's see if we can unlock this recipe. I'm usually much better at this. Let's go there. Let's go there and craft it. And there, we got it. So now when I look here, I've earned both recipes. And if I go to craft, you can see now I have a smaller target to go to. It's saying, okay, the 3 recipes for here is inside this, or anywhere for this recipe. And you can see the recipes actually have the capability of giving you a buff, which everybody gets cooking. So if you want to learn to cook, everybody can do it. It's not considered a trade skill, it's considered a hobby. And then you can see this one here buffs technology, this one buffs brutality. But to get in here, I have to do the same thing again. I have to try and get to here, but now I'm not looking for an area this big. I'm looking just to get it to land in here. And you can crit craft also. I could actually craft more of the same thing than the normal just however many I get at a time for making it. So since I'm already in here, we'll just do that later. So does everybody understand the crafting system? If I was to go over here and look at weaponsmithing, it's a different type of crafting. This system, food buffs that give experience. I do not believe there's food that gives experience. I could be wrong. I know that there's a path buff from one of the paths that can give you a reputation boost, so you kind of get an experience boost. Anyway, this is called the circuit board crafting system. Unlike cooking, which is coordinated crafting, so there's 2 types of crafting systems. You have the coordinated, and then you have the circuit board. The circuit board, I don't have the material to make this recipe. However, I can preview what it looks like. And the farther you get into the crafting, the more complex this is going to look. And what basically this is saying is it has a random stat that's automatically going to be put onto this item. You have no control, you can't change it. This one says I need a power source. This slot's for a power source. I don't have any in my inventory, so I can't apply one. But you have a choice if you have a number of power sources which one to choose. And then this one here is saying a type. and you're going to, if I had the stuff for it, I could click on this and choose what type of stat I choose to put on it. And the more complex the recipes get, the more choices you have. Now the trick here is you have a charge meter and an overcharge meter. You're just going to fill the charge meter if you pick the default. As you get more skills into the crafting system, you have a chance to overcharge and get much better results out of your thing. But you have to be skilled at your crafting, skilled at your trade to overcharge even by a little bit. But this is how you would do it, is by choosing the difference between here and how much power the item can take. So if you have a battery of 100 and you tried to put something in that was 110, well, it's going to explode. You're putting too much power through the system is the basic idea. And so let's go ahead and look at our crafting system. We've already looked, we got our list of schematics. You have a tech tree. The way the tech tree works is
slightly less of a problem.
You have different things you can unlock, and these are basically crafting achievements. So here it says I've reached novice crafting. Here it says craft 3 serviceable steel melee weapons, and I will learn these newer recipes. I've already achieved that. That's why it's green. Now if I want to learn about something else, well, how do I become a novice gunsmith? The novice gunsmith says I have to craft 4 fine steel sidearms. Well, it's connected to here, which means I had to learn the sidearms from doing this achievement first. And so you can just progress through the tree this way, and it gives you a status of how far you complete are on your different achievements. You don't necessarily have to do them all, but eventually, if you want to get all the recipes or the talent points, you're going to want to complete these different steps. So, that takes us right into talents. Every level, you get a point that you can spend into your crafting to make you better, more specialized. So every crafter is not going to be the same. Every crafter is not going to know every recipe the same. It gives you a really good depth. The more specialized you are in your crafting of a certain type, the better you're going to get. There's going to be people at endgame that their focus is just guns. And so they're going to focus all of their crafting to be really good at guns. Are they a weaponsmith? Can they make everything? Sure. Are they going to be better at guns if they focus on that? Absolutely. And then crafting also has talent points and so on. This is your... So, anyway. So, I hope I answered questions for that. Before we move on, is there any questions about the crafting system that I can allude to while we're doing this? One thing to note, crafting comes with a supply satchel. You can see default supplies are automatically put into the supply satchel, so they're not taking up bag space. These do have a limited stack, so if you get a full stack, it will go into your open bag. But pretty much everything goes in here and will be used from here automatically. You can see all the meats I've collected for cooking. Even though I don't have recipes for them, they automatically go into the supply satchel. So that pretty much covers crafting. You can switch crafts. You can, and not lose progress. So if you got to level 3 in weaponsmithing, you decided it really wasn't your cup of tea and you wanted to do outfitting, you can switch your trade skills by coming talking to the trainer. All you have to do is say, oh, I want to swap. You say what you want to swap with. The first time you swap, it's free, but you're locked out from swapping for 24 hours. The next time you swap, it's like 25 gold. So swapping can get expensive on your trade skills, but if you put enough time and effort, you can actually learn every trade skill, max it out, and know every single recipe. It's going to take you years, mind you, but you could do it if you really wanted to. What really pays off for the crafting is specializing. So, there you go. All of these are your trade skills. You get to choose 2. Cooking and farming are hobbies. And eventually we might see, we should see fishing here. Fishing was in game for a very short time, but they took it out to fix it. Probably won't be in before launch, but fishing is coming. There may be some other hobbies coming in the future also. There's also another hobby-like craft called rune crafting, and what rune crafting does is it lets you use, let's see, elemental signs and rune shards to make adjustments to gear if they have rune slots. But that doesn't open up till level 15, so we won't get into that right now. Another plus to the crafting system is you have your regular auction house, and then you also have a commodities exchange. So there's a separate auction house just for trading crafting materials and supplies, which is very cool. And that kind of floats with the market. So you can go post some supplies up, and it'll communally sell those supplies to various people. I haven't played with it too much, but it is there. So there's 2 separate auction houses. So I get there in 10 minutes flat, and then she's on. What's the rub? This is a tasker board. These usually have missions or quests that require or suggest more than 1 person. So if I was to get a quest, in fact I think I have one, it says, hey, we recommend that you take 3 people and go kill this thing. And you would get those type of quests from here. This is a Dominion mailbox, so on and so forth. So let's take a look at our map. As you can see on the map, I got a bunch of resources because I'm a farmer. It's telling me I got plants I can harvest. So let's go get this plant. Rune crafting is a type of harvest, or a hobby, yes. Everybody can do it. It doesn't take away from your trade skills. Okay, see how this plant is glowing? This is what's called an overgrown plant. And you can see it says overgrown yellow belt. Overgrown plants, most of the time, will give you seeds, which you can take back to your housing plant and grow. Non-overgrown plants can also give you seeds, but at less potential of a chance. So to get a plant, you just hit it. And as you can see here, all your loot's on the ground. You can either click it individually, or you can just hit V and pick it all up. I didn't actually get a seed from that overgrown, which is unusual, but that's okay.
It must take you forever to get anywhere. Gotta open the door. You gotta walk. I don't know how you do it.
One thing cool about the hoverboard is I can actually go across water.
My formula for success.
Oops, I hit him on accident. Ooh, what did I just hit? Alright. Alright, let's see here. Quest sharing. I believe there is a quest sharing system. Alright. Alright, that time I got seeds. Oops. Seeds. So here we go, we got seeds. Did I show you the ability panel? I don't believe I did. Okay, so getting back to specifically the Stalker now, these are our ability panels. And remember I talked about assault power, which is your DPS role. Your support power is towards your secondary role for the Stalker. It's a tank. And then you have also utility abilities, which are good for both. So there's a very good chance that even though you're tanking, you're going to have some utility abilities that help out either the group or yourself in a different manner. Your crowd controls are usually under utilities. So you can see here our main abilities for the Stalker for DPS is you got Quick Slash, which basically is what I've been using to hit them 3 times back and forth slashing. Then you have Tactical Strike, which is a finishing move, which does extra damage if you hit them from behind. And I'll show you the telegraphs for these in just a sec. Analyze Weakness lets you mark a foe to where everybody that hits him is going to do extra damage. Or hits him and it consumes the mark. Overload, deal extra technology damage and pierces their shield, so that helps bypass defenses. And then you got Cripple, which deals damage and snares them, so that's really good from a PvP standpoint or bosses that are susceptible to snaring. Your support abilities. Right now I'm not hooked up as a tank, I'm playing DPS, so I don't have any of these abilities put on. But you got Nano Field, which deals damage to everybody around you in a field and heals you around you. Whiplash deals physical damage twice to 5 foes, so it gets up and just hits a bunch of people. Reaver applies a taunt, so you're summoning people to you, keeping them off of everybody else. And then Razor Discs, which is a ranged ability, applies Expose, which makes everybody do more damage to them. And then so on. Staggering Strike. Like I said, your CC abilities are here. So Staggering Strike it stuns them. So if I'm fighting a bunch of people and I'm starting to get overwhelmed, I stun them. You also have False Retreat, lets you jump backwards to get out of damage. And then you instantly jump back in. This is a really good ability for a high telegraph area. A boss drops down a circular thing that's just going to do a bunch of damage. You hit False Retreat, you jump out of the circle. As soon as the circle goes away, you jump back in and hit him by pressing it, as long as it happens within the time frame. It also knocks him down when you return. And then Pounce is just a jump. A gap closer. Path abilities are also here. Every path has 3 abilities you can learn as you level your path. Clarity, for the scientist, puts a ration crate on the ground that everybody can click to help restore health. The generator, if you're out trying to gain reputation, you can drop this generator down. Everybody in the area can use it to get extra reputation for the next minute. So this is really good for a high density area that gives reputation, or you're killing a boss and you want the extra reputation boost for killing him. You drop that just before you do it and away you go. The last one is create a portal to your hometown. This is the last scientist ability you can get. And all of these abilities are improve even more as you level up pathing, but these are the only 3 abilities you get. This portal is for everybody. You can port everybody back to the capital city. After a raid's done, scientist goes, hey, let's all go home. Like a warlock portal if you've ever played World of Warcraft. So, anyway, the amp system is the last system for leveling and that you need to be concerned with. Excuse me. So, as you can see here, I have 6 points and I haven't spent any. And I haven't spent any kind of on purpose, just so I can kind of show you things. But you have different quadrants. You have 3 quadrants you can spend points, and these correspond to your type of abilities that we just covered over here, your 3 areas. So depending on how you want to play your character is where you want to spend your amp points. Starting at level 6, you get 1 point per level, all the way up. And so, but not every amp costs only a single point. They can cost up to 4 points, depending on which one you get. Everything that's in a chain, you get for free. Some of these out here could be free, some of them you have to buy. So you can look here and so I want to focus on DPS. I'm going to want to spend points in the assault tree. Now here's the trick. If you want to go into the hybrid area, which we're not seeing, we can do that by showing all. This is how many different things you can spend points on. But you only have 45 points at level 50. So you have to plan out what you want to spend. Now, to spend points in the hybrid area, you have to spend points in both quadrants on either side. So you have to spend assault points and support points to be able to spend points in the hybrid section. And as you get farther along, same thing. You have to spend enough points in Tier 2. This is Tier 1. This is Tier 2. This is Tier 3. You have to spend enough points in Tier 2 on both sides to get to Tier 3 of hybrid. So planning out is going to be very detailed and intense, and while some people think, oh, it's going to be cookie cutter builds, yeah, no, not so much, because depending on what abilities you slot and which amps you purchase is going to change how your character plays. And since on abilities you also level those up, you put points out here to activate abilities, somebody's going to like playing with this ability and somebody's going to like playing with this ability, but they may or may not spend points in it to be more effective, and the amps support all that. So, if you're going to be heavy PvP focused and you want to be PvP offense, you're going to have to spend points in assault and utility and so on and so forth. I think you guys get the idea. So, and if they're in a chain, you have to purchase them in order. You have to purchase here, then here, then here, and then here if you want all four. And yes, everything you purchase stacks. But you don't have to purchase everything in a chain to move on. You just have to spend enough points in this quadrant to get to this quadrant, so on and so forth. So, hope I've covered that. And, oh, by the way, you get to have 4 sets. So you get to choose how you want to spend your abilities and your amps 4 different ways and save them. So, and swapping these will change your bar. See how my bar just went clean? If I was to say use set, I would be using ability set 2, and I have nothing equipped. So, let's close that. Now let's show you some action. So let's see here. Let's look at our telegraphs for what I have established. I got a wide arc. This one's a little bit smaller. See how it's smaller? This one's about the same. This one's a straight line. This one goes all the way around me. And this one lets me jump that far. So if I target him and I hit 6, I'm going to jump. There we go. That's combat for a Stalker. No beat Mike. The way I meant to stack, if it's going to increase. So basically, you're buying 2% of crit each time. If they're exactly the same thing, you're just getting the end total. But a lot of them, even if they're in a chain, are not the same thing. So one might be 2% crit, one's 2% crit chance. Those would stack because they're in the same chain. Sorry, I misclarified there. Good catch. Thank you. So let's see if we got any quests. Let's zoom into the map here. Oh, let's go over here and harvest some ore, because I am a miner and a weaponsmith. Let's show you how mining works. So here's some mining nodes. To do mining, you want to pick up a mining axe. Right now I have a novice axe. And instead of just whacking on this, I'm going to hit that. Now I'm mining. This is how mining is supposed to happen. I'm blasting it with a laser. Give me your ore. Now the nifty thing about mining and relic hunting is these nodes might fight back. If we get lucky, it'll try and run away from us, or it'll turn into a giant worm and say, you know what, I'm going to eat your head. But you can see how it's basically a loot pinata. It's just throwing stuff out there that I can pick up individually, or I can pick up all at once, including experience. So, that's how mining works. Now we're just going to do some quests and answer questions and have some fun. So bring it on. Oh, what do we got here? Oh, we found a mushroom. Perfect segue into something. Mushrooms. Mushrooms you harvest by hitting them. Oops. Mushrooms are going to look like a seed patch, and that's because they also are for farming. Now, if I plant this mushroom, as you can see here, it says this is a ghost shroom. It decreases the growth time of nearby plants. So if you have a farmer's plot in your housing, you would plant this near the other seeds that you plant, and it would grow faster. And that is really important in seed management and getting extra resources, is finding these mushrooms, and there's different types that will let you do different things. Some let you hopefully automatically replant, or you get extra seeds when you harvest, so on and so forth. So you want to keep an eye out on these mushrooms in the world if you really want to get into the farmer's game. And even if you don't, sell them on the commodities market, because I guarantee somebody's going to want to buy them. And as you can see, plants always show up as these little green... Oh, there's another shroom. So here's a different type of shroom. So this time, we got a harvest shroom. Increases the harvest rewards in nearby plants. So now you're going to get more out of your harvesting when you grow it. So, anyway. Can you steal other people's mining nodes? No. Whoever targets a mining node, it's their node. But there is co-op mining to where you can help each other. So if you're in a group, you can work together to achieve the goal. Mining nodes and resources are all shared in the world. So if you see somebody whacking on it, it's theirs. So here's a relic node. Since I'm not a relic hunter, I don't have a relic hunting laser. I can't harvest it. Ooh, I found a cave. So what do we got here? Ooh, open the door switch. So somebody left me a door open. Ooh, we got a bunch of mining nodes. Look at this. Party time. Let's see if we can find one that attacks us. Or runs away. Not that one. This is a nice find. And we also found a piece of lore. Lore is a very interesting situation in this game.
The evolution of the Falkren continues to amaze me. Having released the initial prototypes into the wild after data collection, they were not expected to survive.
So, lore, there's different types of things. You have data cubes, which is these, which tell you about the Elden. It tells you about what's going on in this area. It tells you kind of what was happening here with the people that were here. And this little lore panel tells you how many of these data cubes are per zone. So here I'm in Deradune. It tells me I've collected 8 of 17, and each one tells a story. And they also have audio. You can push the play button and listen to it. Then you have journals. Journals are story-based single item collectors that tell a full story. So if I click on this, I get a full story about this character. This one's about a preacher that was here in Deradune. And you can read his whole story. And as you can see here, there's 12 journals hidden around the zone that's important to this zone. So if you're a real lore buff, you want to go out and find all these journals. Then there's the last type, the Tales of the Fringe. The Tales of the Fringe are more like, call them comic books or mini stories. However, until you collect all the pieces, you can't read the story. So here you can see I've collected 6 of 7, a test of loyalty. I can't read it until I get all 7 pieces. So, and here it tells you how many you need to find to be able to get this story. I believe this cave was opened up by an explorer, and I just got lucky and was able to get in here. So let's finish mining all this ore since it's so much of it, and get back to questing. I really hope one of these attack. That'd be really cool to show you that. So far they're not being good to me. I can show PvP, but I don't plan to today. If you really want to see PvP, the Real Blank Space streams PvP quite a bit. So you can go watch one of his past shows. I will be doing PvP in the future, but I really want to finish my series of class reviews specifically, and then get to housing before I focus too much on PvP. Sometimes queues for PvP can take a while. So, anyway, did I miss any questions? So for PvP, oops. We have different battlegrounds for PvP right now. I'm not going to tell you about all the different types because that would be above the level 15 NDA. But right now you can see that I can queue up for this one, which is a 10 versus 10 smash and grab as at a level 11, which involves wiki mask type things. So you can also flag for open world PvP. You can do duels. That's the extent of really my knowledge on PvP. I don't really do it a lot. Sorry. This is a tree. If you are a survivalist, you could harvest this tree. Since I'm not a survivalist, I can't harvest the tree, but it's there. One thing that really strikes me as phenomenal in this game is the water mechanics and the swim mechanics. Look how awesome the water looks. The fact that the water has resistance on me, it's pushing me away. If the water's deep enough, I'll swim. And I really like the swimming animations. Of course, this is a shallow river. I'm not swimming. There we go. Now I'm swimming. And yes, you will drown. Here is a scientist path mission, and you can see I got the scientist symbol, so I'm going to press G, and it's going to scan it, and it's going to activate my botany thing right there, telling me, hey, I've learned a little bit more about that plant. Let's see here. What's my nearest mission? I think my nearest mission is up there. Okay, let's do a mission. Let's see here. Achievements. That's a good question. Achievements. Your achievements path, oops, are under here. As you can see, if you like achievements, there is a ton of categories for achievements. So you got your exploration, your collection, your quests, your kills. It's going to get your overall summary of things that you've done and completed. So we'll go down here to our collection, and here it says I've collected and completed different things. Place trophies on pikes in the town. If I do it 100 times, I get a HUD Hunter title. You know, so you got to collect all these different achievements, and they can get quite extensive in the amount of achievements that you can get in the game. So did I skip your question?
Best fare I ever
Does the
had.
scan bot go invisible when you do?
Wow, chew over
Well, let's check it out.
With a plasma grenade
Nope,
and told
scan
me to
bot's still
keep
there.
the change. Oh no, wait. You said best, not worse. Hold on.
However, you're not going to be using your scan bot in PvP, so that's kind of a mute issue. Your scan bot's not going to do anything for you in a PvP situation. If you're in an open world situation and you are both flagged as PvP, yes, someone's attacking a node, you can attack them. Open world PvP, there are going to be PvP servers that are focused on that. So, I'm really trying to find a node that's going to run away. Keep those questions coming. I love talking to you guys. Oops. Guild perks. Let's open up the guilds. Oops. Oops, I'm being attacked. Who's attacking me? Oh, monkey shine. Stun you. Why not? And you're gone. So the guild system. Let's see if I can find it. I'm not in a guild, so I really can't show you anything of that without going to an area. Oh, I lost my scan button. There we go. So you have different social systems. You have your friends, and friends can be just a player or an account. You can friend both directions. So if you want to always know when somebody's online, you can account friend them. If you want to just know when a specific character's online, you can just friend them by the character. Neighbors are people that you give access to your house to visit and or edit your house. You can actually up someone's level to actually do things to your house. And this is important because later on housings, you can put adventures that you access from your house. If anybody's ever played Wizard 101, you know how you can go over and join them to an activity that you access via the housing system. Give us a flex. Okay, that way we can show off the WildStar shirt. There we go. Then you have guilds. Guilds are tied together with renowned and earning points of doing stuff together. Just like normal games, you're going to have guilds. Then you have circles. Circles are a communication method very similar to what they have in Final Fantasy, to where you communicate with people that have similar interests. So you get together in a circle and you say, you could call a circle Friday Night Fun Group. You know, people only show up on Friday. They're all in this Friday Fun Group. They get together. They do things. Bam. You have a communications tool. This gives you another way to communicate with more people without necessarily being grouped up with them. And as you can see here, you can have a number of circles. So I know personally I'll be in a crafting circle because I like to network with my crafting peeps. So, anyway, moving on. Next question. Yes, the link shell thing. That's what I was trying to get at. What do I think of the tanking rogue? I think the tanking rogue is phenomenal.
Yeah, transmats are okay if you just want your molecules scrambled, but when you teleport, you miss out on the view. The time to reflect and whatnot.
You just notice there, what I did is I went stealth, I marked him, and then I hit him from the rear, and you seen his health dropped almost to nothing. That's using every resource to hit the hardest you possibly can, doing that. So, can I elaborate guilds and circles? So, guilds are going to give you your guild benefits. Circles are just a communications group. You get nothing for being tied to them. They're just people you like to talk to and or get together with to do things. At this level, the scan bot only really is there for collecting information. It doesn't do a whole lot. Alright. Let's start a challenge. Let's kill some birdies.
Double kill. Triple kill.
Oh, it didn't start the challenge. Oh well. Must not have the quest for it yet. Kill invaders. There is no invaders. Somebody killed them all. Open beta? I have no idea. Sorry about that. And even if I did know, I wouldn't confirm it. We'll have to come back down here. Does the enemy see the debuff placed on them before the tactical strike? I don't believe so, but don't quote me on that. Yes, you can belong to a single guild but multiple circles. Correct. Somebody killed all the bad guys. So the nifty thing about being a tanking rogue is the way threat generation and management is done differently than, say, the warrior. It's all about how your abilities play out and they're used. Without really getting into a direct comparison of abilities, it's a little hard to specify one over the other. But that's basically what it comes down to, is how they do their job. Yeah, so circles would be down here. If I was in a circle, you would get another chat channel. Somebody killed all the guys here. Okay, I guess we're going to go up and do the next area. Up the hill. Skyrook. Actually, I think I went to the wrong area, but that's okay. We'll go here since we're here. To get into beta, you need to go to the website or fill out the winter beta survey. Go fill out the survey there. I mean, register for beta there and fill out the survey there. That'll double your chances to potentially get into beta. Those are the only two places that you're going to potentially be able to get into beta. So do not try and buy a key from anybody. That'll just get you banned if we find out. Yes, you can... Fallen Feathers. Ooh. I have not tried the Spellslinger in PvP. As I said, I don't PvP much. Oh, I lost my scam bot again. But here's a tornado. So this area here is actually one of my most favorite areas in Deradune, because watch. We're going to go fly. Woo! And we're going to fly again. I don't know where I'm supposed to land. Can we hit it? Oh! Flying! And there's actually a challenge involved. Getting a slow fall. So for a short time, I've got a flying buff on me because of those tornadoes. And there are things to do and see up there at the top because of those. Let's fly! Whoosh. Let's get high up into the sky. Whoosh. Let's give you the bird's eye view of Deradune. Oh yeah. Coolness, huh? Please do not talk in channel if you are in beta, either regular or stress test, unless you are authorized as press to talk about it. Whoop. So this is a warrior spot. If you were a warrior, you could come here and actually get a holdout mission to do here. So these are different warrior type path missions. We'll go back up to that area in just a second. I want to actually interact with a quest NPC, though. More seeds. Nope, no seeds. So you can hear quest dialogue and all that. Come on, run from me! I'm having no luck with mining nodes. I'm so disappointed. Oh, mushroom! Yay, mushrooms! Which mushroom did we get this time? Did we get a new one? Oh, that's seeds. Nope, nothing new. Okay. Okay, while I'm walking up here, got any more questions? Let's see here. Could you test some combat with auto face lock and lock on target enabled? Sure, we can do that. I really don't like that feature, but we can do that. So under options, combat, you have the ability to auto cast, auto face, and lock target. You can select this by basically, if I was to jump through something, it'll automatically turn me around. If I want to lock a target, if I click on it, it'll stay on that target until I automatically, or until I, quote unquote, move off of it. So that's what this feature does. So we'll go ahead and do that for you. As soon as I oh, I didn't talk to the guy down here I've got to talk to for this quest. Let's see here. Expected to release next year. Let's see here. Can't believe I came all the way up here and forgot to get my quest guy. Get up there. Oh no, I fell down. That's okay. See, look, I took quite a bit of damage just falling down. And I lost my bot in the process. Will you be able to gear both tanking and DPS specs at early level? Yes. It's all on where you equip. So, what you're asking here is, if I have a piece of gear, this one is designed to be a tanking chest. It's got grit on it. If I wanted to be more of a DPS, I would get a chest piece with brutality on it. At the early levels, you're probably only really going to have one set or the other. But as soon as you get into crafting, you can easily make a second set and be able to swap back and forth. Later levels, you're going to have enough quests that you're going to be able to get both at a pretty steady rate. Let's see here. Are there rare name and elite mobs out in locations aside from the common ones? Yes. In fact, there's rare mobs that you're going to find that's going to drop you a quest item that says, hey, you've collected his skull. Go back and do that. Let's see here. Yes, there is a dungeon finder function, but you have to know where the dungeon is at before it'll actually show you the dungeon finder function. You just can't queue up for a dungeon if you've never been there before. Let's power grid the rail. Trick rails. Alright. Notice how this plant instantly respawned. Very cool function. Sometimes you'll get plants that just keep spawning. And you keep your harvesting. Okay, this is a bind spot. If you wanted to, if you plan on dying, you can pick one of these on the map. Currently I'm bound over here at the Fairplain Collective, but if I wanted to say res up here now, because now I'm questing in this area, I'm going to click on this and say come back here if I die. Let's see here. Do all mobs die this fast? No, not all mobs die this fast. I'm just really good. And if you buy that one, let's see here. Challenges can be very hard, yes. And challenges scale by the number of participants. So you can make things really interesting in a full group, which makes it a lot of fun. Max level at launch is planned to be 50. Yes, so singular mobs and so on and so forth. What level do you get a mount? In beta right now, we automatically get the surfboard at 10.
Oh, fast.
Yay, I talked to him. Just a point of note, I'm going to click through the quests really quickly because I don't want to spoil it for launch with you with all the dialogue. Normally, if I'm doing a show that's after launch, I would go through the whole thing and I'd read it to you and make it fun, but no spoilers. We're just going to click it and do it. Go on and go for it. So, we're out of here. Let's go do the quest. Oops. So now, it's going to want us to go up that hill or out to here. Oh, the plant is back. Yay! If you notice, I like to harvest, so I don't pass up nodes. How am I liking it so far? Well, in the year and 3 months I've been playing it, I would say I like it a little bit. Just a little bit. What is my favorite class? I am currently playing it. I am a Stalker. My next favorite would probably be the Engineer. And the Draken happens to be my most favorite. If any of you were around back last January, I said the same thing in my Asked the Beta Tester Friends and Family article that's up on the WildStar site. Nothing has changed in the last year. So, that being said, let's keep going. Diplomacy. Collect shiny stones. Oh, where are we supposed to collect the shiny stones? Oh, now I'm supposed to go down here. Darn it. They keep going back and forth, back and forth. The medic. I really like the medic. I like the concept of the medic from a DPS standpoint. I'm not really a healer player, so I can't answer that much about that. So, unfortunately, I can't answer too much about healing classes. I've only played a few of them in some testing, but it's not really my playstyle, so I don't do it very often.
They hated each other. It was a big battle. Oh, actually, wait, you know what? That's later. Disregard. What am I thinking?
Where am I going? Oh, yes. I'm going down here to collect shiny stones. So let's speed jump and pick it. Oh, you fall down. Ooh, nice one. So now we're just doing quests to complete a mission. Am I going the wrong direction? I am. Lots of mining nodes, though. Yeah, so there's 3 tanking classes, 3 healing classes, and everybody DPSs. Shiny stones!
They say speed kills, but it's actually the sudden deceleration right after that's statistically more hazardous. Yeah, a little safety tip there.
Bot keeps taking damage. So let's see here. You cannot dye weapons at this time. You can dye armor if you have dye. There is a Holy Trinity, and every class has a little bit of some form of CC or support abilities on top of their DPS and or tanking and healing, so on and so forth. Let's go swimming. Oh, what did we find down here? Shiny stone. Notice how the current is pushing me away. It doesn't want to let me get it. And if I stop my forward motion, this current is pushing me away. Let's go deeper, see if the current doesn't mess with us down here. Nope. Alright, we're not collecting stones underwater. That's awesome. I hope you're assuming my WildStar house. Because I'm not going to tell you about poles in my own house. Alright, I got to kill a bunch of these. Okay, well, let's do that. Come on, gather up. I'll talk to you.
Double kill. Triple kill.
Alright, we gathered feathers. Let's gather up some more of these, because there have been... Come on, guys, let's talk. You and me.
Double kill. Triple kill.
It's starting to lag a little bit. Interesting. Apologize for that. Ooh, a shirt. My bot keeps dying on me. It's not good. Alright, let's line a couple of these up for the debuff.
Double kill. Double kill.
Oh, that one's already dead.
Triple kill.
Okay, the Marauders are gone. Let's hide this panel. Let's hide this panel. Oh. Let's go find some more shiny stones. Yes, there are bonuses for getting multiple kills. There's also what's called momentum, or momentum type concept, where if you're chain killing over and over and over again and you keep doing it and you're really good, you'll start getting all these buffs going across that keep stacking. So there's definitely bonuses for being good at doing the killing. Okay, now we can return to the emissary. I see a four. Where'd it go? Oh, there it is. Yay! I'm gonna finally be able to complete all my crafting quests. Player houses are actually floating islands in the sky. They are a physical location, but you purchase them from Protostar. Yes, evade bonus also. Completing the quest.
Fail me, and your usefulness will quickly expire.
So now we're going to... Let's see here, let's just hide tasks. Bow before the emissary, let's go. Nope. I think there was earlier a question about can you dye your hoverboards? You can get different colors. I don't think they can be dyed. I just remembered I forgot to answer that question earlier. Let's blow the horn. Now we're in a holdout. So now we're going to protect these people. Next wave in 25 seconds. Now you'll get to see the auto face feature going in effect because I'm going to be doing a lot of twisting and turning while I do this holdout. And as you can see here, it's going to tell me my indication of when things are going to start happening and I need to pay attention. And here they come. Come on, guys. Oh, I'm lagging. What's up with that? Not cool. Next wave in 4 seconds. Go, go, gadget. All right, law diplomacy didn't work. Good try. So we go back to town. But while we're here, let's make sure we finish the map exploration here. You never know when you might find something interesting. All right, let's see if we can get some more questions here. So, the interface is going to be a choice. There's lots of UI authors out there making things and changing things up, so you're going to have lots of choices. You can have lots of things hidden and oh no! We're back in. The add-on system is very in-depth. You can change just about anything that the devs can change. In fact, that's an add-on right here. You see there's an add-on that's telling me how far away a mining node is at. Turn that off. The way the add-ons are, if you were to go into options, you have add-ons here, and you can see everything Carbine makes. You have access to change or manipulate, turn on or off. If you did not want to see your health bar, you could turn it off. You didn't want to have some of these add-ons on, you can just turn them off. Custom add-ons made by players you can have here, and you can have different loot rule, or whether you want to load it, not load it only for certain characters, not others. So you can go under here and say, do I want to be just for this player, just for this server, so on and so forth. You can do that. There's lots of add-ons that are available and changing that are always coming out and about. So for crafting nodes, to being able to attack them, Once you choose your trade skills, that no longer works. You can only harvest what you have the skill to harvest. I know they're talking about guild halls. There are guild versus guild or other types of functions that are coming into play, but takes us above the level 15 stuff.
What news do you have?
So this is how choosing items work when you complete a quest. It's going to give you a set of options that this guy gives you, and you can highlight over them and you'll see how your stats are going to change based on the selection. So you can see here it's going to give me 8 finesse, 34 more armor, but it's going to take away 6 insight, because you can see I have insight on my other one, and the insight tells you what it affects. Well, if I lose insight, I'm also going to lose to my deflect rating and my deflect critical rating. Notice it does not show you the secondary effects of the primary increase. So it doesn't tell me the secondary effects of getting more finesse, but it does over on the other item. So what it's showing you is getting more finesse is going to add to my strike through and my crit severity rating. It doesn't tell me how much it's going to increase it. It's just telling me it's going to increase it. You can also see here that this is a medium piece of armor. If I highlight this one, it's a light piece of armor. I can wear light armor even though my main armor is medium. However, I can't wear heavy. So you got a red mark on there that says, sorry, you can't wear heavy armor. Can I still collect the gear? Sure, I can still take this if I just want to get it for money, or I want to be able to salvage it. So you have the option to take anything. You just pick whether you want to use it, you want to salvage it, you want to sell it, and all the information's there. It's telling me it's salvageable. It tells me it sells for 2 silver. This one tells me it sells for 1 silver. This one tells me it sells for 1 silver. I like the armor upgrade, so I'm going to go ahead and take the boots. Notice I had to click it twice. Just clicking it once doesn't accept it. You have to click the item twice to say, for sure, are you sure this is the item you want for your quest reward? Now I can just collect these quests real quick. I can come over here and get this quest. Notice how they weren't offering quests until I finished that first one. So now I've opened up the hub of quests in this area.
Easy on the sudden movement.
I can't show you the guild features because I'm not in a guild. That functionality of the UI only shows up when you are actually in a guild. I will try and get a guild started for a future stream, and we'll go in depth to the guild features. I was not prepared for that today. I hadn't had anybody ask that question. So yes, look for a future review of guild functionality, probably about the same time I cover housing. I have to get to level 14 to be able to show you a house, but so right now I'm 11. So when we hit 14, we'll try and take a look at housing and the guild features. Inventory work. Inventory works like this. You have your inventory system. It's all one big large bag. However, the slots are increased by bags. So yes, it is a bag type system. However, you never see the bags. You just see a total inventory space. And it tells you how many slots each bag are, and you can swap them out individually. You can have up to 4 bags, and you can have up to 4 bag expansions to a bank. So you have a default bank size that also can be expanded by your bags. So you do not want to just sell your bags if you get a replacement. So for example, if I get an upgrade to this 4 and I get a 6, until I have 5 of these, I'm going to keep them and put them in my bank until I have all 5 of those slots open. Now mind you, bank slots do get expensive to get an extra bag spot. So, but it's a good thing to know about, because your space management is about how many slots you have, but visually you see a single bag. And you can resize this thing to go up and down when it works and change the look of how you want to do it. So if you end up with a lot of bags, you can make this show up here and you just have to scroll. Or you can say, well, when I open my bag, I want to see everything. And how many rows. You just enjoy the size. Now this is the smallest you can go this way. But as you can see, you can go a long ways this way. The other thing about the bag system that's good to know is you notice your currency down here. You also have your salvage icon. So if I have something that's salvageable, let's make sure this isn't something I need. Oh, I wanted to equip those. So this is salvageable. I drag it here. I go, do I want to salvage it? Yes. I just collected resources. It says I got a sign of water and split leather. Well, where did it go? I got nothing new in my bag. So where did this split leather go? Well, it went default into my trade sale satchel. And I showed you this earlier. And you can see I'm overflowing of ore chunks. So I'm going to start getting ore chunks out here in my bags. But your supply satchel, automatically the stuff goes up into there. And you can salvage anything that says it's salvageable. And if it's not salvageable, it'll just say junk. The costume system, we didn't talk about that today. I've talked about it in other shows. But the costume system is here. As you can see, you're seeing my costume, not my actual gear. The costume system here is if I have a costume available, it says costume. To know what's in it, you hit edit. And what these are going to overlay my gear with this item. Now this item gets imprinted on your costume spot but stays in your bag. So forever for this particular costume spot, I'm going to see these gloves unless I turn it off. If I turn off my costume, I'm going to see what my gear actually looks like. So I turn it back on, I see the costume. Like I said, these items stay in your bag. You can sell them, you get rid of them, this costume will stay forever. You can have a number of costume sets and it will stay there forever and you never have to worry about keeping the item unless you override it. If you get a costume, new pair of gloves that you want to go with these pants instead and you overwrite this, it's gone forever from the costume set. And if you don't have the item still, you can't reuse it in a new costume. And as you can see here, I can turn things on or off. If I want my tiki mask shown, because I do have a tiki mask costume item, I turn it on, I say done, I return to game, and now I have my tiki mask just like this person. And there we go. Now you're seeing the costume. I don't particularly like the tiki mask most of the time, so I leave it off. Is it still, but as you can see, it's still in the slot. It's still there. All I have to do is turn it back on and you see the tiki mask. But I actually like the look of my my little stalker here. I think she's quite cool, you know. So I let her face show. Who wants to hide behind a tiki mask? The difference between transmorg and here is you're not overriding the armor. I can change out my gear as many times as I want and the look still stays within the costume system. So that is the distinction between there. So here's a canvas pair of shoes. This is nothing here, so we can salvage this. Let's see here. Did I get an upgrade to my shield? Oh, it just went from brutality to insight. I can't salvage it, I can only sell it. Junk. Legs. This one gives me more brutality. So here's where I start getting into what do I want to do. And this is something we didn't cover earlier, and this is pretty much going to be the last thing I do for the evening, is talk about how to decide what to swap out based on what you do. So we're going to look here at these pair of pants. And it says it increases my brutality, but I lose finesse and moxie. Now if you look at my DPS stats, finesse, remember, is my secondary stat, and my moxie is my tertiary. but this is gonna increase my crit severity rating if I equip this pants. Now what I want to look at is the brutality. It says I'm going to increase brutality by 16 and lose 13 finesse. Well, if I look at finesse, 75 finesse gives me a milestone of 50 crit. I'm currently at 91 finesse. So I can afford to lose 13 because 13 would be 88. So I can still change out and lose 13 finesse without losing this milestone. Getting 16 brutality is going to put me over the top and give me extra 20 assault power. So equipping these pants is going to let me get this milestone and this milestone, which is going to increase my capability quite a bit more. So, strike through hit chance is your ability to go through somebody else's shields. And we can look at that. Strike through hit chance is your chance to go through somebody else's shields and not get the mitigation that their shield normally gets to damage they receive. Creatures have their own shields, even if they don't necessarily show them. And then your crit hit chance is you'll be able to go through their deflect crit chance. Basically, you're mitigating this stat, and so on and so forth. So, like I was saying, if I swap out these pants, I have to close this for the milestones to activate. And as you can see here, oh, now I'm barely over this one, and I didn't quite make this one. So I'm like, oh, man, almost made it. So I almost ended up getting this and this. But it's something to look at in the future. Now, if I look at this one gives me insight, and I lose 6 brutality. That's not helping me. This one doesn't help me. So, but anyway, that's how you want to look at is determining, not always do you want to just stack your primary stat. You also want to take in consideration your milestones. And these milestones open up different things at different levels. And your total build is going to be based on how good you are. Yes, more brutality is probably better for your assault power total. But is it going to maximize your total milestones for your build? And so that is where it comes into the decision process when you're going along, because later on, you're going to have gear that's going to have an empty slot on it. And that slot is for rune crafting. And then you might plug in some more stats or abilities into that slot via the rune crafting. Or if you craft your gear, you might go, these pair of pants have 16 brutality, and I need 20 brutality to get to the milestone. Let me go make a pair of pants that's got 20 brutality and see what I have to take away otherwise if it's not the same piece of gear. So, does that make sense, everybody? 120 is not the absolute cap. In fact, 30 is tier 1. As you can see here, rank 1. Once I go past this 120, I will be into rank 2 of brutality, and there'll be more milestones. And so milestones go all the way up to a lot. I'm not going to tell you the number because that takes me beyond the level 15 that I could speak about. But yes, it goes way up there. So when you get to end game, you're going to have a lot of planning that you have to do in this gear swapping out. It's not just as simple as stacking your primary stat and calling it good, because it's going to be a balance between these milestones. What you do, you can see here, I get to this point in grit, I'm going to get a base 150 more health. Well, your health is how much life you got. So anyway, so I got time for about 2 or 3 more questions, and then I'm going to have to call it for the night. I will be back this weekend, more than likely on Sunday, to do a little more streaming for you. Now that Kelithar is also streaming, you can check in with him here on this channel. While I'm waiting for your last little minute questions, let me do my little sign-off stuff. Anyway, you will find this up on my YouTube channel either tonight or tomorrow. For those that tuned in a little late and want to see where we started the beginning of the Stalker discussion, we will be continuing the journey. I have covered every class in depth except Spellslinger, so that will be my next show. I have a level 7 Spellslinger, I think, that we will get on to go over that the same way I did the Stalker today. And then after I finish the Spellslinger, we'll be just playing whatever we feel like to have fun. More likely, lots of the Stalker until I get him to level 15, which is the cap I can talk about. And then I'll show off housing and some PvP and some guild functionalities and all that in the future. So with that, I'm going to bid you good night if there's not any last minute questions. It was great hanging with everybody. I really appreciate you engaging me because, as I said, this is Ask the Chief Streaming. You don't ask me, you're just watching me. You know what I'm saying? So you guys all have a good night. Thanks for everything, and we will talk to you again soon.